Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt Messina, and I'm your lone anchor for this week of Code Blue News.
You ready? You ready, Dom? You all set, Dom? That good, Dom? You ready, Dom? Alright, you ready, Dom? That good, Dom? We set, Dom? Dom, you ready? Alright, Dom, you ready? We all ready, Dom? We all set, Dom? Dominic, you all set? You hear him good? That's good? We good? Are we all set? We all set? Alright, 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 alright. Alright, 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 alright. Sorry, Dom. That's good, Dom? That good, Dom? What was the third question, Dom? Anything else we need to ask him, Dom? Anything else, Dom? Anything else we need, Dom?
Town elections and the annual town meeting were meant to be held over a month ago, but they were delayed due to the pandemic. Andrew LaRossi has more on the story.
The date for the local town elections has been set after it was delayed due to the COVID pandemic. On June 27th, the annual town election will be held, and on June 30th, a town meeting will be held. Town elections will again be held at the middle high school, although mail-in ballots are encouraged. For the town meeting, the school's gym could possibly be used so social distancing could be implemented more efficiently. However, the school department hasn't agreed, but talks are underway. We'll provide updates on the elections and town meetings. This has been Andrew LaRossi with Code Blue News, signing off.
Since many people now have more time than they know what to do with, many games such as Animal Crossing and shows like Outer Banks have become incredibly popular. I have more on the subject. Recently, we have seen many video games and shows explode in popularity due to everybody staying at home as much as possible. These pieces of art and entertainment have shattered previous records and are a fascinating byproduct of a fascinating point in history. When you think about it, any show that gains momentum recently is bound to break records. After all, it's the most popular show at the most opportune time. Everybody is at home, and they all want entertainment. So, here we go. Pieces of art made popular by quarantine, or as I'd like to call it, the entertainment boom. The time period where everybody consumes more entertainment than ever, and potentially ever again. First off, let's talk about older shows that recently came back into the spotlight. Everybody has a backlog of shows that they claim that they'll watch eventually. Well, there's quite literally no better time to watch them than now. Shows by HBO have recently been dropped on Hulu, a very wise decision by both companies, as it gives younger viewers a chance to watch some of the best shows of all time. The Sopranos, Silicon Valley, The Wire, 6 Feet Under, and of course Game of Thrones. However, Netflix similarly added a few classic Nicktoons to their service. Once again, this was a stroke of genius by Netflix, as Avatar: The Last Airbender, Invader Zim, and Victorious can now be viewed by a new generation, especially The Last Airbender, arguably the greatest Nicktoon of all time. Additionally, Netflix has been clearly the most popular streaming service throughout the pandemic. Criminal Minds, Waco, Community, and The Office have all seen a resurgence in popularity years after release. Not to mention that Hulu and Netflix have been dropping original shows at the perfect time. Hulu dropped Little Fires Everywhere, quickly getting praise from the internet. Outer Banks became the most popular item on Netflix in just 3 weeks, which is absolutely insane to say the least. It's pretty obvious that every streaming company knows that this is the time to strike, so they are feverishly buying properties to make their service better. This is nothing but a good thing for us consumers and has left many of us with too much to watch. Now let's talk about the 10-part Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance. This ESPN film was supposed to launch in July, however, ESPN geniusly released it early on April 19th. The first episode is the most viewed ESPN documentary to date, and nothing really comes close. Not only did this documentary give people sports content, but it absolutely proves who the GOAT is. However, all of those pale in comparison to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Out of everything in this segment, Animal Crossing released at the most opportune time. The game released on April 20th, about a week after England, America, Japan, and Canada beginning quarantine. Those 5 countries are huge markets for video games. Animal Crossing has always had the reputation of being the series that you could easily dump hundreds of hours into, with New Horizons being the biggest game in the series so far. Word quickly spread that this was the game to play during quarantine, and the Switches began flying off the shelves. After only 2 months, the numbers are absolutely mesmerizing. Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold 13.4 million copies to date. In its first 11 days, the game sold 11.7 million copies. If that wasn't impressive enough, New Horizons is well past the total earnings from all previous games in the franchise combined. Let me reiterate, in 2 months, the game has outsold the rest of the entire series. Animal Crossing is now a primary video game series in the same vein as Mario or Call of Duty. From now on, if an Animal Crossing comes out, we all know it's going to sell millions of copies and millions of systems. This is why, in my opinion, Animal Crossing New Horizons is the highlight of the entertainment boom. Another game that released at the perfect time, March 10th, was Call of Duty Warzone. Warzone is a battle royale mode for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which was already the best-selling game of last year. It is without a doubt the most popular battle royale since Fortnite's height in early 2018. Activision has confirmed that the game has 60 million players and that the game has made multiple billions of dollars. It is now on pace to be the best-selling game in Call of Duty history. These shows and games are poised to set unbreakable records and have kept people smiling during this dark time. Feel free to watch that show or play that game you've been putting off for years. Who knows how long you'll have this free time. I'm Matt Messina. Back to you in the studio. The question on every HMHS student's mind is, how will I get things out of my locker during the pandemic? Nick Chaffee has more on the story.
Remember the lockers? Well, it's been a while. We left March 13th and people expected to come back. Look where that led you guys. It is now May 26th and there are still people out there like, I left my jacket in there. I left my watch in there. I left my 3-week-old banana in my locker. Well, no one has actually said that, but if you do have a 3-week-old banana in your locker, well, I mean, it's now like 4 months old. That's kind of disgusting. So, I have asked Miss OD about the lockers, and simply put, there isn't a clear date for returning to get our stuff back. It'll be announced eventually, or a follow-up segment may come when plans have been finalized. Maybe soon, might be the day after this video goes public, who knows? There are obviously people who keep stuff in their lockers and leave them behind expecting to return 3 weeks after your initial closing. What do people want, and where do people lie? First, a poll. I generally ask my Instagram followers 2 questions. First, do you still have stuff in your lockers? And second, do you care if it's taken out? So, for the first question, 69% of people said yes. And for the second question, 63 of those people said yes. So, well, it's apparent. The majority cares about their stuff. Let's hear from people who said yes to both of these questions.
And like fully clean or whatever's happening. It's kind of annoying to me because I have a jacket in my locker, and I think in my gym locker I have a few other things. So it's like, that's my stuff. So it's kind of, I don't know, hopefully they give us more of like a notice with it.
The lockers are something many want to know the future of. It'll eventually come, but at the moment there isn't too much update on it. But when there is, I'll keep you updated and post a follow-up segment. This was Nick Chaffee. See you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last Code Blue episode of the year with our seniors. So we made them this special video to say goodbye.
I think what I'll miss most about Code Blue is the fact that in every day I got to go to school knowing I was going to get to create something exciting and be with people who wanted to create different news and different stories. It was fun because you just got to sit down and you were like, okay, I'm creating this and I'm doing this, and then it came together at the end of the week and it 9 out of 10 times worked.
Well, what I'll miss most about Code Blue is obviously anchoring most Friday mornings. I'll miss the people and feeling like I was part of a team because, I don't like sports. I'm not good at sports, and yeah, Code Blue was the first time I felt like I was part of a team.
The thing I'll miss most is definitely all of my classmates in the class, everyone in Code Blue. Everyone there is a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to work with. They're very creative people. They work hard, and it was a great time working with them.
The thing I'm going to miss most about Code Blue is going to be a lot of talking to people, getting to hear how they think on school issues and getting to cover all these amazing events that the school does. It's just really great getting to talk to all these people, getting their perspective and being able to share with the rest of the school and being a part of this great school community.
My favorite memory from Code Blue is probably either Code Blue Feud, because it was like 40 minutes where 90% of the class was just sitting in the studio while we were filming, just goofing off and joking around, and people only saw 12 minutes of it, but the whole 40 minutes just had everyone laughing because the 14 of us are just dumb. My second favorite memory is probably the time me and Andrew were walking around school going to get an interview from Peps, and there was a cheese stick just gross on the stairs, and that's the story of how Andrew LaRossi became a cheese stick in my eyes.
My favorite memory has to be the time when Nick was anchoring and then he was holding up Miss A's GSA t-shirt and he went through the green screen.
My favorite memory was Niall saying, "You ready, Dom?" every single time I was operating in a camera and he was on camera. Every single time. And I was always ready.
Technically not a Code Blue, but I remember one time, me and Chuck, we talked about this. We're like, I wonder if I could drop an Altoid off the top banister of the cafeteria into his mouth. I think it must have took us like 50 or something tries, probably way more than that, but just drop them in. Eventually we got lucky and just nailed it. And then we told Gorman we did it on one take.
My hardest challenge with Code Blue was going into the year. I didn't really know anyone in the class except for like Dominic and Niall and Katori. Okay, I knew only the seniors. I didn't really know anyone else. So I felt going into the class that I had to prove to everyone else that I was in that class for a reason and that I belonged there because I hadn't taken video production for 2 years. So I felt like I had something to prove, and even being an exec, I was like, felt every day that I had to prove to them. So that was hard, but eventually we all became friends, and yeah.
Time and editing, because I wasn't like really experienced with editing, so yeah.
Probably the biggest thing to overcome was the deadlines. You know, a segment had to be done by Thursday afternoon. I couldn't leave school until it was done. I had to work it in with my schedule playing sports. Like I would have to be late to practice, or if I knew I had a game, I would have to make sure the segment was done in advance, so I would have to stay after school earlier in the week. It was difficult to balance, but I always ended up making it work, and I think it was a great learning experience.
Hardest challenge, you know, I don't know if there's ever been something that's been too great of a deal to overcome. I've definitely had those segments where working on them is just a pain, or it's just so frustrating to do. But, you know, if I can't do it, you know, maybe I can turn to, say, Dominic or anyone else who's working at Code Blue. I can ask them for help, and, you know, at the end of the day, we'll overcome whatever challenge we have to deal with.
My favorite part about working at Code Blue was the fact that I was with people, like I said, who got to create different things, and we all worked together. We're all so different, but as you could see in Code Blue shows, that everything was just like, it looked cohesive from all our different personalities. It put on a good show, I guess.
Well, what I liked most was obviously everyone and their different personalities. Matt, he always made me laugh, and he always would encourage me. Mr. Gorman would also push me to and say like I can make a better segment than what I had produced. And when I would stay after school, Caleb will also like encourage me and support me and say thank you for staying after.
I liked the dynamic of everyone there. I liked the way everyone challenged each other, and the way when someone came up with an idea, there would always be someone else there to add on to it. I liked how there was never someone who didn't have an idea, and I like everyone's personality in the group, and I think it was great working with everyone.
You know, there's a lot of things I love working at Code Blue. You know, just covering all the various events, getting to talk to so many students. It's just such a different class. You can't get that same experience in any other class. You know, I love all the people there, I love all the work we've done, and I'm proud of everything we've done at the end of the day.
It'll be hard saying goodbye to everyone in the show because I think, honestly, we all have just worked together so much that I felt like I was with these people more than just one period a day. I was with them after school, before school, during school, even if it wasn't for just Code Blue. And the show meant a lot to me. I feel like I put so much into the show that not having the show anymore just feels weird.
It also, well, Code Blue, it also made me find like how much I love film, and it also led me to changing my major to like film, just so I could probably get into like screenwriting instead of like having a biology major, because when I first chose that, it was obviously about the money, but Code Blue led me to finding my talents, so yeah.
It's gonna be hard to say goodbye to everyone in the show because I've spent the entirety of my senior year with them, and every time, you know, those sessions where we would spend planning the show every Monday were always a lot of fun. It was a great time being around them, and it's gonna suck to not be able to go to that class every day.
It's gonna be tough, you know. I started this whole journey, I don't know what now, 7th grade started, so it's been wild at the end of the day, you know. We started off in this small little closet, you know, just trying to make some good stuff for the community, and now looking at what we've become, you know. All those years ago, I just joined because I wanted to hang out with one of my friends who was in the club. I wasn't even interested in what I was doing at the time, and you know, it's just become such a wild experience, all the great times I've had. you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I've got to move on at the end of the day, you know. As much as I've loved my time here, I gotta move on to new things now. Just kind of a wild experience knowing how long I've been here.
Is there anything I'd like to add? Just that the barbecue segment's probably the best segment anyone has ever created. And I don't care how bad it truly was, it is a masterpiece. And that I'm still the best person to do Renegade ever. Okay, yeah, that's it. Could you see me reading my phone?
That about wraps it up for this week. I'm Matt Messina. See you next Friday.